What is going on, Gridiron fans? I am the Gridiron Guy, and today is my mock draft madness. Okay, if you haven't been here before, please click that subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Click the notification bell so you can be notified of future uploads. Now, we've had some crazy things happen this week. Matthew Stafford got traded to the Rams for Jared Goff and 2 number 1s and a 3rd this year. Put in the comments what you think about this trade. I still don't know how I feel about it. I like Matthew Stafford. I agree. I like it more for the Rams than I do for anything else. The Lions gave up a lot. Or the Rams gave up a lot. The Lions are going to get a lot, but they didn't get anything really for this year. Except for a 3rd round pick. So I'm not in love with that for the Lions. I think the Rams so far made out better. Especially the Rams have to take on Goff's contract, which is larger than Stafford's contract. Anyway, moving on. This is the Draft Network draft machine, mock draft machine. So I've been using this for a while. I'll still be using this. I will be doing some trades this week. I'm just going to do a first round, but I'm going to make some trades, and I'm going to have a little fun with it. I'm also going to do a few things differently. So, with all that being said, let's get started. Alright. First and foremost, Trevor Lawrence. The most pro-ready quarterback, as the cliche goes. The most pro-ready quarterback since Andrew Luck. If he doesn't go number 1, I can't imagine him not going number 1. Alright. So, here's where the draft really starts at number 2. What are the Jets going to do? They're going to trade down? They're going to take a quarterback? Are they going to trade the pick altogether for Deshaun Watson? Who knows? But in this scenario, I'm going to take Penei Sewell, take the best tackle off the board. Now you can partner him with Mekhi Becton, and you have these 2 big, massive bookend tackles to go forward with, no matter whom your quarterback will be. Alright, so for the Dolphins, I'm going to stick with the Alabama connection. And I'm going to go Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith balled out this year. Won the Heisman. Had amazing games at wide receiver. The national championship game, the playoff game, the game where he had 4 touchdowns. Like he just had an incredible season. Incredible season. Very deserving of the Heisman Trophy. And in this instance, we're going to say very deserving of the 3rd overall pick to the Dolphins, where 2 is already there. You know, they got that connection. It's the Alabama connection. You know, they're already used to each other. Devontae Smith will change that team's atmosphere with his ability. Alright, now with the Falcons at number 4. I think the Falcons' defense needs to improve. And I feel that edge rusher is a little too early here, but I don't feel that Micah Parsons is too early. He's the best defensive player in this draft. You can do multiple things with him. I'm going to go Micah Parsons here to the Falcons for a lot of reasons. Falcons need help on defense. They do have 2 good linebackers, but you put Micah Parsons next to them, this defense could be amazing next year. Like I said, they really need edge rusher. I think it's a little bit early for Kwity Paye. It's a little bit early for a lot of players, especially with Micah Parsons on the board. If you're going to go defense and you need help at all 3 levels of defense, Micah Parsons would be your pick if he's on the board over somebody like Kwity Paye, Caleb Farley, Surtain, you know, definitely over Joseph Asai, JOK. You know, some of these players, like, really good, but not better than Micah Parsons. I just think he's an all-around talent. Do a lot of things on defense. Can improve an entire defense just by existing there. All right, so now we're gonna have some trade. We have a trade here, and what I think we're gonna do is we're gonna trade. Okay, so I'm not gonna show you the terms of the trade because I had to like finagle it so it would work, but the Vikings trade with the Bengals. The Vikings are moving up to take Zach Wilson, and the Vikings gave up their first round pick this year, their first round pick next year, a third and 2 fours this year. And the Bengals give up their first overall pick this year and a 5th next year. Alrighty. So now, Eagles on the clock. Eagles, I believe, will take Jamar Chase. They need some juice on that offense. It's been stale. They gotta have a weapon on offense. All right. Lions, interesting position. Okay. The Lions are sitting here. They have Jared Goff now. They have 2 first-round picks next year and in 2023. But what I think they do is say, hey, I think this whole Jared Goff situation is going to be more of a Brock Osweiler situation. When the Browns took on Brock Osweiler, ate his contract, and then released him. Okay, I don't know if the Lions are going to do that immediately, not as fast as the Browns did. I do think Goff is a better quarterback than Brock Osweiler was. But I think the Lions are not convinced that Jared Goff would be their quarterback of the future. They may give him a year and then cut his ass. So they're going to need a guy of the future, and they're going to want to start grooming him now, because you don't want to wait till next year, because then you're kind of forced to take a guy next year. But if you take a guy like Trey Lance, let him sit for a year behind Goff, let Goff do whatever. You know, if he gets your team into the playoffs, great. I don't know if he can do that. I doubt it. If Stafford couldn't get them in the playoffs, Goff's certainly not gonna. But they're probably gonna be picking in the top 10 again next year. So, you know, having a guy like Trey Lance already on the roster means you don't have to grab a quarterback next year, and you can focus on, you know, wide receiver talent, offensive line, defense. You can focus on all of that. You take a guy like Trey Lance right now. All right, so that only leaves one option for the Panthers. I mean, the Panthers could go a number of routes here. They could go Surtain. They could go Farley. You know, Parsons is off the board. They could go Justin Fields, J.C. Horn, Zaven Collins. But some of these guys they would have to trade way back for. They'd have to be somewhere up in here, late teens, early 20s. Take some of these other linebackers. You know, I'm not... If they sit here and take Justin Fields, I'm basically convinced that he is pretty much Teddy Bridgewater. So I'm not in love with it, but if they could get I feel like they like Teddy Bridgewater. They just don't know how deep he could go. And he's going to be 27 next year. Also, he's got that knee injury. You don't know how long you can rely on Teddy Bridgewater. So I think they go Justin Fields and just keep Teddy Bridgewater as that bridge quarterback. Maybe let him play one more year. Let him play half a year this year. Go to Justin Fields late in the year. Whatever. But I think that's the move. All right. The Broncos would take the Broncos could take a edge rusher here, but Kwity Paye is more of a 4-3 edge rusher. You're probably looking at Joseph Asai, and there's a lot of players that they should take before they would take Joseph Asai. But I think they're going to go Caleb Farley. He's the best fit for their system. He's big, physical. He's bump and run. He just fits that system perfectly. All right, with Caleb Farley off the board, Patrick Surtain, match him back up with Trevon Diggs. Now you have Alabama's secondary from last year, or their corners from last year. Their starting corners from last year, Patrick Surtain and Trevon Diggs. I think both of them together complement each other. You know, they could both do. They both have unique skill sets. Trevon Diggs is more of a physical bump and run type guy. Surtain also a press man cover guy, bump and run guy, but he's also he's faster than Diggs, so he could cover more of the speedier guys. All right, Giants on the board. You know, Giants need some defensive depth, but they could really use a guy like Jalen Waddle. Get some juice on that offense. The wide receiving core there has been banged up. You know, they could definitely move on from some guys if it suits them. But, you know, the Giants maybe need to think about bringing in one of these big-time wide receivers like Allen, Juju Smith-Schuster, one of these guys, and draft a Jalen Waddle. Because that defense is already definitely top 15. With another piece or two, they could be top 10. The Giants could be a contender for that division next year, for sure. Maybe even built for a playoff run, a small playoff run, maybe one win in the playoffs, depending on who they got to play. But the Giants, I feel like, are in the best position in that division to turn it around. They got a lot going for them. The Cowboys are in trouble. They just have too many cap issues. The Eagles have all the drama, you know, that ensued the end of this season. If that locker room can fix some things, maybe they might be all right. And then Washington football team won the division, but they have an aging quarterback. They traded away their first round, or they just downright released their first round quarterback that they got a year ago. So I mean, they're almost starting at square one. They have everything but a quarterback. I mean, Alex Smith is great, but he's not their long-term option. All right. So in my opinion, Giants in the best position to make some noise in that division next year. San Francisco 49ers. I considered trading down here because, you know, the Niners could use a guy like J.C. Horn, but with so many tackles on the board, you know, offensive linemen in general, they just need offensive line. Okay? And I think the 49ers could do themselves a solid by going with Rashawn Slater. Simply because Rashawn Slater's probably going to end up being, you know, he's gonna find a spot on your offensive line no matter what. Whether that's inside, outside, whatever. He's going to find a spot on your offensive line. He is worth a starting position. Now, people say, oh, his arms are a little undersized. He's probably going to end up being more of a guard. Okay, fine. But now the 49ers just got a guard, you know, in the first round. So either way, you know, I like Rashawn Slater as an interior guy, but a solid one at that. All right, Chargers on the clock. I think the Chargers have to go Christian Durasaw. He is a solid left tackle. For the 49ers, they need interior offensive line. Chargers, they just need offensive line, so they should take the best one on the board, and that's Christian Dursaw. Just hands down, Christian Dursaw at this point, best tackle on the board. All right, Bengals on the clock. Now, the Bengals could go. Bengals need offensive line. Period. Offensive line. They have to protect Joe Burrow, right? So they trade down knowing that there is just a ton of offensive linemen for this first round, okay? So they trade down, they pick up some picks. Maybe they can get some defensive depth, wide receiver depth, offensive line starters with some of those extra picks. So, Samuel Cosmi would be a good move. But Samuel Cosmi, the only problem is he's a true right tackle. Like he can't play left tackle and he can't play guard. He can play right tackle, and that's basically it. Alright, so he's kind of one-dimensional. You already got Jonah Williams who plays left tackle, so Samuel Cosmi would be a good idea. But Elijah Vera Tucker can actually play left guard and left tackle and right tackle. Okay? So Elijah Vera Tucker is more likely to find a spot on your offensive line to be able to play right away. Okay? Elijah Vera Tucker, very, very versatile. He has played several spots on the offensive line. Played left guard as a junior, played left tackle as a senior. So it's this guy's already got the experience to plug and play anywhere on your offensive line. Okay? Day one starter. Samuel Cosmi, if he doesn't work out at right tackle, then what? You gotta find a guy. The Bengals have to find somebody who will make a spot on their offensive line and add to the quality. That's Elijah Vera Tucker. They can't afford to miss. They just can't. All right, Patriots on the board. This pick is just too obvious, and I don't care if it's obvious. I'm just going to keep making it because it's, Kyle Pitts to the Patriots. Patriots years ago lost Aaron Hernandez. I could see Bill Belichick using Kyle Pitts exactly how he used Aaron Hernandez all those years ago. So I think he would just love to have that toy back. It's very unfortunate what happened to Aaron Hernandez and everything went on in his life. But I think Kyle Pitts is also from Florida, a Florida tight end. All right. Cardinals have to go corner here. They have to go. J.C. Horn. They can't afford to not take him. There's not a... Cardinals have all around a decent team. There's no, glaring needs. But, if there was one, it's corner. They also need defensive depth. They need extra pieces on that defense. That offense, aside from Kyler Murray, not playing well down the stretch, that offense is pretty good. Great wide receiving core. Offensive line is solid. They're okay there. A lot of their picks should just be defense. As well as the next team we're going to talk about, the Raiders. The Raiders, offense, top 12 in the league. Top 12 in the league easily. But their defense was in the 30s. 30, 31, 32. One of those three pick them. I don't care. That's how bad their defense was. Their defense was just terrible. So I think they need all the defensive help they can get in this draft. We have Kwity Paye sitting here. Raiders take Kwity Paye. They got to get after the quarterback. That is their biggest issue, is not being able to get after the quarterback. Ever since they let Khalil Mack go. Even though I agree with that trade. All right. Dolphins on the clock. And I think we're going to just keep... We're going to keep this Alabama connection going. And I think the Dolphins take Najee Harris. This will be Alabama East. Okay? You're going to have Najee Harris. You're going to have Devontae Smith. And you're going to have Tua. So you're gonna have 3 Alabama players in Miami. I think it's a good idea. I think why not? I think Najee Harris and Travis Etienne, you can make an argument for either one of them to be the number 1 running back off the board. And why not send him to the Dolphins, where he would already be taking handoffs from a quarterback he's familiar with. And you're sending him there with Devontae Smith, whom he's played with for the last 2 or 3 years. And they both played with Tua. So if you want cohesion on that offense, draft Najee Harris and Devontae Smith, and I think it'll happen. And the Dolphins don't have to go out and trade for Deshaun Watson and give up their entire draft to go get a quarterback. They're not only their draft this year, but their draft for the next 2 or 3 years possibly. No, sit tight, go get your guys. All right. So now for the football team, the Washington football team, I think they go Samuel Cosmi. For the simple fact that they are not as desperate to hit on a guy as the Bengals are. Bengals have to hit on a guy in this first round on the offensive line. Washington football team, yeah, Samuel Cosmi works out, great. If he doesn't, they try him at guard. If he, they have the opportunity to just draft a guy knowing that he maybe only play one position. All right. So now we got the Bears on the clock, and I think the Bears get a little crazy. I mean, it's not really crazy. They need a quarterback, right? Mac Jones played pretty well in the Senior Bowl. I mean, he didn't disappoint. Let's just say that. So I think his stock has risen a little bit because of the Senior Bowl. Because he showed that he is solid. He can play quarterback. So, move it up. Mac Jones to the Bears. I think it's a good move. Bears need a quarterback. Mac Jones could be their answer. All right, Colts on the board. And I think the Colts have to go wide receiver here. Right? Yeah. And they go Rashawn Bateman. Now, Titans on the board. I would consider the Titans. I think the Titans should probably trade down. Maybe to the top of the second round. But for the sake of sticking around here, I'm gonna say the Titans stay put and they draft a guy in Joseph Asai. Alright, so we got the Jets on the clock, and the Jets need offensive weapons, correct? They could use a wide receiver, but Frank Gore, if Frank Gore's returning, if he's returning, if they're letting him go, whatever, they're going to need a running back. It doesn't matter. Travis Etienne comes in. I think he is a solid 3-down back. You can throw him the ball. He can run it on first and second down. You can throw him the ball on third down. He is a complete back. That's why he went back to school for his senior year. All right. Now moving on. I also considered a trade here with the Steelers. But the Steelers just have too many tackles on the board for the Steelers to just pass one up and trade down or even trade out of the first round, because what if they don't get one of these guys? You know, they really need offensive line. Their offensive line, everybody on that offensive line that's a starter is over 30. You know, they need to address offensive line fast. So, that being said, I think they go Jalen Mayfield. All right. Same thing with the Jags. Jags must go offensive line. They got their shiny new weapon, Trevor Lawrence, okay? You have some wide receivers there already for him to throw to. You got Laviska Shenault, D.D. Westbrook, DJ Chark. You got guys for him to throw to. It would be great if he had a tight end to throw to. Maybe you pick up a guy like Hunter Henry in free agency, you know, make a move, whatever. But I think they go Liam Eckenberg and get him a left tackle. You got your starting quarterback of the future. Now you write the insurance check and you get him a left tackle to protect his backside. All right. Browns, I think, you know, they really want another solid edge rusher, and I think they're going to go Gregory Rousseau. They go Gregory Rousseau, and they get a long, lanky edge rusher, can get after the quarterback. All right. So now the Ravens, I think, would take his teammate, Jalen Phillips. Similar guy. You know, long, lanky, good size, good build, good bend. I think they go Jalen Phillips. All right. So now we have the Saints on the board. And I think the Saints defense, okay, with Breeze getting older, who knows how long they're going to keep Breeze. I honestly think Breeze should retire. I think his arm strength is debilitating a little bit. I think he really should retire before he starts tarnishing his career. I love Drew Brees, but I don't want to see him go out like somebody who held on too long. Okay? So, with that being said, I think the Saints need to focus on their defense. Whomever the quarterback is in the future, doesn't matter. If they focus on their defense, they should be all right. So I think they go out and get JOK, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. Okay, this guy flies around the ball. He's good in coverage. He's good at stopping the run. Even though he's undersized, he's good at stopping the run. He gets his nose in there. He's got a nose for the ball. And like I said, he's good in coverage. You know, that's what they need. They need a guy that can, in the middle, that can do it all. All right. So now we have the Packers here. Now with Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah coming off the board, I'm going to make a trade. Okay, because the next team is the Bills. All right? And I have somebody who I think should move up and swoop in it and take Zaven Collins. The Raiders move up. And they give the Packers their second round pick, and they give them their second and a fourth this year and a third next year to move back up into the first round and take Zaven Collins. So now the Raiders have taken Kwity Paye, edge rusher, and Zaven Collins, one of the best linebackers. One of the most versatile linebackers in this draft. All right. Moving on. I think the Bills take Nick Bolton. The Bills take Nick Bolton. Zaven Collins is off the board. But also the Raiders want to keep Zaven Collins from going to the Bills, who are already a good team. You know, they switch out with the Packers. The Packers have been known to trade back out of the first round in the past. So So it's not an uncommon trade. I think the Raiders need to move up and make a move and get some of these defensive players that are gonna occur at the end of the first round. Their first round pick, or their first round pick that they already had, isn't the greatest. They're sitting at 17. So yeah, if Kwity Paye falls to them, that's great. But if they can get Kwity Paye and Zaven Collins, that's an amazing first round for them. Even if they were able to move up and get Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, now they can put Zaven Collins. They brought in Gus Bradley. They would have a guy like Zaven Collins who can do a lot of things. And then they would bring in Kwity Paye to add depth to that defensive line at edge. I just think both moves would be great for the Raiders. All right. Moving on. We have the Bucks on the board, and I think the Bucks go Terrace Marshall. They could have went Azeez Ojulari, and they could have went Christian Barmore. Probably not Christian Barmore though. They do have Vita Vea back. But I don't. And then a very Kansas City Chiefs pick, Kadarius Toney. All right, football fans, what did you think of my mock draft? Did you enjoy it? If you did, give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what you thought. Did you enjoy the trades? Did you not? Did you like some of the picks? Everybody always has their opinion about, this guy would never do that. Just put it down there. Put it down there. I don't mind hearing it. So, with all that being said, I am the Gridiron Guy, and I am out.